Now, Lionel Messi has played his last game for PSG, and the attention now turns to whether he'll return to Barcelona. Reports this lunchtime that he's met with Joan Laporta today to discuss the move. ESPN's Julien Laurens joins us live now. Good afternoon to you, Julien. Then Messi booed, actually, by certain PSG fans. Do you think his time in France has been seen as a bit of a failure?
Hi, Vicky. Hi, everyone. It's hard to tell. I mean, it's not hard to tell. He won 2 league titles, one this season, albeit just by 1 point over Lens, one last season. I guess he didn't come to win Ligue 1 because they did it without him. He came to try to win the Champions League. And on that point, both the teams was knocked out in the last 16 against Bayern Munich this season, convincingly, and against Real Madrid in that crazy remontada a year ago. So on that point, I think you're right. It was not the success that a lot of people expected, certainly on the pitch, off the pitch, in terms of marketing and sponsoring and everything. This has taken PSG to another level, without a doubt. On the pitch, his numbers are really good. Again, this season he's had 20 goals and 20 assists in all competitions. Only Vinicius Jr. in the big 5 leagues in Europe has as many. So clearly he was still amazing, and especially in the first half of the season before the World Cup. But overall, just because of that Champions League failure, it's not, I think, what a lot of people expected when he signed in Paris.
Obviously, it was a success at Barcelona, and Xavi said that bringing him back to that club is their priority this summer. Do you think they can financially make it work?
That's the big question, really. I mean, of today, it's not possible. They can't sign him, even as a free agent, because they don't have space for him in the wage bill, even with the departure of Busquets and Jordi Alba. So they will have to sell first and to reduce the wage bill before being able to offer Messi anything. And you mentioned earlier there was a meeting between George and Messi, so Messi's dad, and Joan Laporta in Barcelona. Messi himself, Lionel, is in Barcelona with the family in their house. But until Barca sell a Franck Kessie, for example, maybe Rafinha, maybe Ansu Fati as well, when they make that money available, then it's not possible to sign him. The question is, how long is Messi going to wait? How long is he ready to wait for all of those pieces of the jigsaw getting together? Because if he wants a quick answer, there won't be a quick answer. Barca can't sell those players in the next 2 weeks, for example. He will have to wait more. I believe and I understand that he wants quite quick resolution in a way. He wants to know where he's going to play next season as early as possible for his holidays, for pre-season plans, anything. There's a lot of things that come in consideration for a footballer like that when he's out of contract. So if Barca can move quickly, then I think his priority is definitely to go back to Barcelona. He's also their priority. And there's another question on tactically how this is going to work. However, they need to sell before being able to offer him a contract.
Oh, well, you talked about money there a little bit there. Obviously, Saudi have convinced Karim Benzema to move there. It's a huge deal. Do you think it would be hard for Messi to ignore huge numbers?
Well, it was certainly the case for Karim Benzema. There's a point where if you offered 400 million euros over 2 years, even more than that for Messi, it's difficult to say no. I think even with all the money that all those players have earned already, and they've earned a lot, for Messi, the fact is this is the only offer he has on the table right now. The one from Saudi Arabia, from Al Hilal, that's all. There's nothing else from Barcelona. There was nothing from PSG. There's nothing from MLS and Inter Miami, for example. So right now, that's all he's got. There might be more coming, of course, from maybe other leagues, England and Germany, Italy, I don't know, wherever. But right now, that's all he has. So he will wait a little bit, see what Barca can come up with. And again, I don't think it will be about the money. And Barca won't have to make him an offer as high as the one in Saudi, of course. But they can't. He won't play for free either. So Barca still have to come up with the numbers, decent numbers, for him to accept that deal. But right now, it's a very tempting offer from Saudi Arabia.
Yes, I can imagine. Look, Harry Kane is believed to be Real Madrid's #1 target, isn't he, to replace Karim Benzema, with reports that the club are even reserving the #9 shirt for him. Do you think he'd be a good fit there?
I think it would be an amazing fit, Vicky. I won't lie. I mean, as you know, Karim Benzema is my guy. And I think if you were to ask anyone who work in football, I ask you, you ask me, a #9 who has a kind of a similar profile to Karim Benzema in Europe right now, Harry Kane would be the first name in our mind, because they're not completely similar, but they play in a similar way in the sense that they're almost as much as a #10 as a #9, both of them. And I think if you put Harry Kane into this Real Madrid team currently, with Vinicius, with Rodrigo, with the midfield that he will have behind him, he will do a lot of things that Karim Benzema has been doing since Cristiano Ronaldo left. And just for that, I think in terms of profile, it's the perfect fit. Then he ticks other boxes, of course, despite his age. Let's not forget, it's a lot of money to invest on someone who's going to be 30, but he's still an amazing player, one of the best in the world. And to replace Karim Benzema, you need one of the best players in the world. You need a world-class striker, and Harry Kane is the one that they clearly want. What's the good thing for Real Madrid is that Daniel Levy wants to sell abroad and not in England. What's against Real Madrid is that Harry Kane clearly would like to stay a bit longer in England to beat Alan Shearer's Premier League goal scoring records, which he won't be able to do if he goes to Real Madrid. So it'd be interesting to see what Harry Kane wants to do. Can you say no to Real Madrid? A lot of players in the past have said that once that train comes, you usually go on it.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? I agree with you. It'd be interesting to see what he actually does do. What about Chelsea then? Remarkably, they're still in the market for getting players in, it would seem, but they appear to have given up on the signing of Manuel Ugarte, with PSG looking like his more likely destination. Is that what you're hearing?
Yes, exactly. He's arrived in Paris today, Ugarte, for his medicals and then signing his contract. 3 days ago, you would have asked me, Chelsea were clearly in the lead. They were the front runners. Their offer was more appreciated, let's say, by Sporting Club de Portugal more than the PSG one. Then PSG made a counter offer, which we maybe didn't expect of that level, and Chelsea could not follow and got out of the race, really. So it was only PSG. Ugarte, very happy to go there. Marco Asensio is the other player that PSG are going to sign today or tomorrow. And for Chelsea, well, Ugarte was the name they wanted in midfield to rebuild that midfield, to partner him with Enzo Fernandez next season. Pochettino was a big fan of the Uruguayan international. It's not going to be him. So they will need to find that number 6 to play alongside Enzo in this rebuild midfield for next season. And there are not many like Ugarte. He's young, he's very aggressive, maybe a little bit too much, take a lot of yellow cards, but he's a very interesting player. Some say that PSG paid too much for him, which is probably true, to be fair, just above the release clause. But for Chelsea now, the search for another number 6 of that kind of caliber is on again.
What about Neymar then? Because Messi paid quite an emotional tribute to him. Can you see him going this summer?
Certainly PSG, I think I've opened the door. I mean, not just the door, the windows, the French doors, anything you want for him to go. They're just waiting for someone to be interested. We know that there were talks about Manchester United, which were not really true. But we know that Pini Zahavi, who's working on Neymar's behalf, especially here in England, in the UK, is working really hard to see if he can find him a club. I think Chelsea are quite keen to a certain extent. It would depend what Pochettino says, of course, now. And I think he would like the Premier League, but he would also like to play in the Premier League, which Chelsea don't have. So, again, a bit like for the Harry Kane, there's a lot of things coming into this debate and this discussion. But I think he wants to go. He was also booed on Saturday in the title celebrations in Paris, like Messi, like Galtier. He doesn't really want to be there anymore. It will all be done, I think, to who comes for him, at what price, what wages, and what kind of competitions those clubs play. So Chelsea are still, I think, quite high on his list, and he's quite high on theirs. But there's a lot more work to be done on this one.
Okay, just finally, it would be remiss of us not to talk about the big man, Zlatan, of course, announcing his retirement yesterday. Where does he rank, do you think, among the greats of his era?
One of the greatest, I think, Vicky. I mean, of course, we can argue on why he's won, and he, for example, hasn't won the Champions League, which is the only big thing missing, really. But when he came to England quite late in his career, I think he showed that he could do it on a Tuesday night under the rain at Stoke, or wherever the sentence goes. He did it in France, of course, in Italy as well, in Spain. It was a difficult relationship with Pep Guardiola at Barcelona, but he still had really good numbers. And in MLS as well, he was an amazing player, the charisma, the personality, of course, but also someone that big, that strong with quick feet like he did. He scored some amazing goals. And I mean, England fans, of course, will remember the ones against England with Sweden, especially the overhead kick from the halfway line. But just an incredible player. I think we won't see again someone like Zlatan. We will miss him a lot. He will stay in football, whether it's as an agent or a sporting director somewhere. He's got too much to give to the game. But it was a really sad day. And for him to be so emotional, and you don't see him that emotional usually, I think it meant a lot to him.
Yeah, it was magical, wasn't it? Could we see him as a coach? Who knows? Always great to talk to you. Thanks, Julien.
Thank you.